ฝากกดติดตามและกดไลค์กดแชร์ CBN Thailand
The Harris family thought they'd just lost their daughter. They had been hiking in the woods when a giant tree branch fell toward the ground, crushing the skull of 4-year-old Mia.
The way he was holding her and what she looked like, I thought our daughter was gone.
In October of 2020, Mike and Melissa Harris enjoyed a cabin getaway and hiking with their kids in Ohio's Wayne National Forest. On their last day, Mike raced his daughter Mia down a path when suddenly tragedy struck.
I heard Mike yell, "Oh, Mia." In the way he said it, I just knew something awful had happened.
I remember grabbing her and just holding her in my arms. And I thought she was gone. Immediately, there was nothing, just lifeless.
A large tree branch had snapped and fallen 60 feet to the ground, hitting their 4-year-old daughter Mia squarely on her head. She showed no signs of life as Mike prayed for her to wake up. Then, after nearly a minute, a scream.
It was just this awful scream. I mean, it wasn't like a physical scream. It was like from the depths of her soul. It was the worst thing I've ever heard, but at the same time, she's alive.
I handed her to my wife and I said, "Hon, you gotta take her. I gotta go."
I had a moment where I'm like, maybe this is the last time I'm gonna hold my baby girl.
Mike ran towards the trailhead, desperately searching for cell service.
911, where's your emergency?
A branch just fell on my 4-year-old daughter. They think she's bleeding from her nose. I just took off running.
As they waited and prayed for help to arrive, Melissa realized the extent of Mia's injury.
Yes, and get the EMS out there on Coca-Cola, please.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're gonna lose her. It's too big of an injury. I remember touching it and I just said, her skull's crushed.
I'm just crying out to God. I believe in him, and no matter what happens next, even if she's going to leave this earth, I love him and I trust him, but I know that he's the one who has the power to change the situation.
I said it over and over again, please don't take her. Please don't take her. Please don't take her. 4 years wasn't enough.
Melissa remembered a story in the Bible of a woman who was healed by touching the hem of Jesus' robe.
If the power of Jesus is that strong, where the woman just had to touch his cloak to be healed, and that power and the Spirit lives in me, then I believe God could heal my daughter. And so I just prayed that over and over again. I would put my hands on her. Please heal our daughter. Heal our daughter. Please heal our daughter.
First responders finally arrived and rushed Mia to a nearby hospital. Mike followed in his car but stopped to call his church staff to pray. Prayers quickly spread through his church leadership around the country and the world.
They were praying on behalf and interceding on our daughter's behalf to the Lord and pleading that God would present a miracle, that God would do something.
Mia was put in a medically induced coma and transported to Nationwide Children's Hospital. Doctors confirmed she had a traumatic brain injury, a fractured skull, and bleeding in and around the brain. For her parents, so many questions remained unanswered.
Was Mia gonna wake up? Was she gonna be Mia? Was she gonna be severely brain damaged? It seemed inevitable with everything we had seen.
The next morning, hospital staff brought her out of the coma.
She reached down and grabbed the diaper that they had on her, and she said, "I peed in my pull-up."
And for me, it was just like, what? Like she's good. Like she can't stand the feeling of having a wet pull-up on, so she can feel, and she's coherent. It was just a really cool moment. She was alive, you know. He gave us our daughter. So
Mia showed signs of paralysis on the left side of her body, but overcame any deficits within 3 days.
What can I do? Thank you for praying for me.
Weeks later, she had a craniotomy to repair her skull and the tear to the dura of her brain. Amazingly, she recovered all cognitive function and all of her personality.
She's awesome, so much fun. She's hilarious. And she just has so much spirit, so much life inside of her. You'd never know anything happened to her.
Mia remains healthy and full of life. To everyone's amazement, Mia made a full recovery. Months after the accident, she confessed something to her dad.
She said, Daddy, I had a dream about Jesus. And I'm like, oh, did you? She said, yeah, he was with me. And he brought me home. We're just so grateful. And I do believe that she experienced something because I don't think she should be here. I don't. I believe that God healed her. His hand was on her life. He raised her. He raised her up.
Mike and Melissa are thankful for the prayers and the peace that sustained them during what could have been a life-ending situation.
There is no explanation on this earth as to how we had the peace that we did. He gave me the peace and he gave me the comfort that I needed when I needed it.
I don't know where I would be right now if it weren't for Jesus. God moved, and we're just, of course, we're grateful and thankful that we get a chance to raise our daughter.